Joining us now on the hotline is our representative for Ottawa County, State Senator Roger Victory joins us, Republican from Hudsonville. Good morning. How are we doing today?
Doing pretty good. It's here in Lansing, and we've got a few things to do here, but it's been a fairly busy week.
Yeah, no doubt. And before we start talking about Ottawa County and things, crews they got somewhat of a big emergency going on in Benton Harbor. Their main water line broke. It drained their water tank. They got the lead line thing that's all come about in a very short amount of time. And I guess lawmakers are going to be talking about that today.
Yeah, there's some oversight on the Benton Harbor issue there. And this is something that we are also looking at using some of these dollars that are coming from Washington, D.C., not just for Benton Harbor, but for some of these legacy water systems. We have an issue right in Grand Haven, some of the lead lines. And I know I'm working on seeing those dollars be made available for communities like Grand Haven and with these legacy water systems that have that lead exposure. Get this done now, get it corrected, and going forward. And there's a number of things that seems a cumulative thing in Benton Harbor, and these are some of these older cities. They were industrial cities. They were in their prime in the 40s and 30s and 50s, and then as they lost that manufacturing base and other factors, and there's mismanagement too of those budgets, and here's the situation. So I do believe let's get this taken care of and resolved, and also making sure a little bit of oversight too, seeing if somebody dropped the ball, make sure they're held accountable for it.
No doubt. Now, besides that, what else have you been working on in Lansing?
Well, we had a big issue that facing us. We talked about a couple weeks ago about Ford making their huge announcement of spending billions of dollars for new plants, and yet they were not being located here in the state of Michigan. And one of the reasons of that was cited is our higher cost of energy here in the state of Michigan compared to other areas within the nation and even on the international market. In response to that, had negotiations and discussions with some other, major manufacturing firms in the state of Michigan, without listing names, but equivalent, if not larger than Ford. So you can kind of put two and two together. And they are looking at spending billions of dollars, too, as they reinvent their industry, and has some issues with their how we do energy. We have two monopolies that provide the vast majority of the energy for throughout the state, and this is aspects of higher energy costs. So my bill, which I introduced, which did create a lot of stir here in town, we did a press release, news conference on it, would allow new entities, if you're building a new plant or a major retrofit of a facility, that you could contract for your electric outside of the prescribed current system. So basically, if you're building a new battery plant, and you can see if you can get a competitive bidding on that supply of electricity in the marketplace and not be forced to have that one supplier provide it for you. And this, with that there, that could be a game changer in making sure we locate a number of these facilities and these billions of dollars investment for our futures, because it's not just about today, it's about the next decade and 2 decades down the road.
What are some other things you're working on and talking about?
On top of that, there, Judiciary Committee will be taking issues. I had an opportunity to be in Traverse City speaking to the Michigan Sheriff's Association. So that's all the sheriffs throughout the state of Michigan, the sheriffs, undersheriffs, and other management team. And we were discussing things that, issues that we've been dealing with, police issues, what we've been hearing on the national scale, what we've been doing in my committee in Judiciary and Public Safety, and getting some input from our officers that wear the brown uniform. And we had some good discussions and learned a lot from them, and they do an awesome job and continue in very challenging time. And heard from them what challenges they're facing, basically recruiting talent, and those they're facing that just like the general business community is.
State Senator Roger Victory joining us right now. Michigan jobless rate drops only slightly. Where are we at on people getting jobs, and why do you think we're behind, even though these $300 extra payments have ended on getting people hired?
A couple of factors that I've seen across, and these are just my theories, and because that is a big mystery out there. You see the help wanted signs. You see, the help wanted signs that some of the fast food places paying $15. And shoot, this weekend I saw a sign at $21 at a fast food restaurant, and and that's unbelievable, and that's in a tight marketplace. So why are we seeing these signs? Why is this occurring? We still have people on unemployment, et cetera. But a couple of factors. I see early retirement. We've seen about 3 million people take an early retirement out of it. So you can see that statistical analysis chart, and it just spikes right up there to 3 million. So they took early retirement. You also have some aspects of child care and that component. So you have the dual income households, and some have decided to go to one, the accessibility and cost of child care. And meantime, they probably redid their budgets through days of COVID. They reinvented that, and so one might be full-time, the other might be just part-time and juggling the child care situation. So that's a factor in there, too. And then there's other aspects of some may be exit the workforce because they don't want to be exposed into that frequency of it with a high interaction of people, and they have gone to work as more of an independent contractor. So those are some of the things that we've seen across the radar screen, and I'm sure, in some areas in our state of Michigan, we have a declining population. We don't have our population is not going up. In Ottawa County, we have people moving in, so it's the fastest growing county, so we do have an influx of people, but the overall aggregate population in Michigan has been stagnant.
Yeah. You're a farmer. You own Victory Farms down in Hudsonville. And as you look at rising gas prices since January, and the supply chain seemingly is getting worse, not better out there, what are your concerns for farmers? What are you facing?
It's going to be, even though commodity prices are up, the profit margin is going to be eroded very quickly. So farming is very much depending on fuel, a lot of input fuel costs. But one of the major costs is fertilizer costs. And fertilizer is manufactured through a process that utilizes a lot of natural gas, and it's very energy intensive. Very energy intensive. So as the price of energy doubles, so does the cost of the fertilizer input, which is one of the major inputs into agriculture. And top of that, labor. So you have labor costs escalating, fertilizer costs escalating, depending on the oil prices, and then you also just the basic fuel consumption too for operating equipment. And so it's going to be, even though prices are going up, we definitely see an inflationary process, and it's not transitory inflation. I do see a long-term inflationary factor coming into at least in our food supply chain.
There's a lot of turkey farms around here. I know there's turkeys, but I've been reading where there's problems with the processing, not having enough people or whatever. What are you hearing? I mean, we're only a month away from the big bird day coming up. How are we doing on turkeys? Will there be enough?
That is a question there, too. The processing is very intense. It's a labor-intensive process, and they've been very, very tight. In fact, we'll drive. We have it used to be the former process. They don't process the turkeys there, but they do at the former Belmont facility, and you see the help wanted signs out there, and those wages continue to escalate higher and higher as you drive down the road, as they continue to need to seek help at that processing facility, which is not a turkey processing facility, but you can relate that to the similar areas we have here in West Michigan, and it's just the competition for that labor that works in those facilities.
Final question I got for you. I know you got to get going, but redistricting panel, people are clamoring at them to do the right thing and change the maps.
Mm-hmm.
What is your major concern about the redistricting going on right now?
My major concern is that we keep our communities whole. Ottawa County is a community of interest, and should not be divided by 5 different ways. You see that they're doing that to other areas and trying to balance these maps out. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. These previous maps, overall, 90% of them were pretty solid, and don't take from 90% solid maps and create 20% solid and 80% that look like spider webs and weird configurations, because they're trying to do some social engineering or some fabrication, or who knows what type of agenda that's being conducted in this map drawing.
Okay. Is there anything I didn't ask you? You want to get out there?
Nope, and go enjoy the day, and it's looking to be another good weekend, and looking forward to talking to you next week.
Absolutely. We appreciate your time. Know you're busy in Lansing, and thanks for always coming on with us. We always appreciate it.
Will do, Eric. Thank you.
Thank you. That is State Senator Roger Victory, Republican from Hudsonville, who represents Ottawa County. Always good enough to come on with us each and every week. We sure do appreciate it.